Hello, bienvenidas mujeres del siglo XXI. Welcome to Women of the 21st Century, a podcast where we talk with women who are leaders, entrepreneurs, empowered, women who have changed their lives in this 21st century. I'm Sarai, I'm the host. Let's start talking. Welcome to Mujeres del siglo XXI. I'm your host, Sarai. And this is a special guest I have. We want to talking about the Black Month, and I want her story here. Thabisa?
Hey, so good to be here. I am, very honored that you would invite me to be here with you today. And I mean, I know we see each other every now and then, but and I know you've been wanting to come. I mean, you've been wanting to have me come to your show, but I'm happy to finally make it.
Yes,
thank you for having me.
So I want to know more about talking about this African culture, because you are immigrant and you know more better what is really this mean Black Month history.
Yes, Black History Month is I didn't really know a lot about Black History Month, to be honest. In South Africa, I don't think we have Black History Month. And when I came to America and I learned about it and still continue to, but I know that Mr. Carter was the one who started this Black History Month. In fact, it was Black History Week when it started. And I feel like with his contributions, and in fact, he did this because he wanted Black people's contributions and Black excellence and great things that Black people have done, to be recognized.
Yes, the history.
Exactly.
Really, it's the many histories in the books. Also, I was say something about that. It was like this story about when the slaves run away from, I think was try to, when they try to break all these slaves, and they I think because of the law. So when they start changing the laws, they don't want. I think some Southern they don't want to change the law.
Yeah.
So this make the some slaves, African, they run away. Some Black, they run away to Mexico, and some they stay there. And they leave. Maybe I should have some cousins.
Probably. It could be.
And then this personal in my job, this guy told me that, and he would say, "You guys, I don't want to say nothing about Mexican people. I'm gonna say thank you because I know you support some Black people, slaves on Mexico, and I feel like my God, this is in the history and nobody talk about it."
Exactly. So I want to connect it to South Africa, because in South Africa we have we've gone through. I wouldn't even say it's the same thing, but it is in a sense, because it's human suffering, and it's the suffering of the Black human, and caused by the white man, caused by white
superiority.
Supremacy, and the whole idea that a Black man is lesser than a white man, which is obviously bull and nonsense. And to have that kind of mindset, to run an entire system and belief and ideals around that kind of rhetoric and hatred, to me, it's just unfathomable. Like I can't even begin to understand what that is about. So that's something that I find intriguing and and painstakingly haunting in a sense, because sometimes there's times where I just weep because I just cannot believe that this is actually a thing, that people took an idea and made it into law, and made it an idea of hatred and made it into law, and that now it's so hard for people to break away from. It's so hard for other people to understand that this is something that shouldn't exist at all. Not in this day and time, especially.
No,
not with all the knowledge we have, not with all the free information that's out there.
Yeah.
So I feel like when it comes to Black History Month, it's time that we truly honor our people, and no matter where they come from in the world, on Black History Month. And not only that, but to show the positive things about Black people, because I feel like even us as Black folks we've gone to be so accustomed to be demonized and to be belittled or to made to believe that we are not who we say we are. Because of how the system has been for generation to generation to generation. And this thing goes through your DNA. Like it gets passed down to your DNA.
Everybody had the same.
Right. You understand? So I feel like Black people, ever since the colonizers went to Africa to steal our people and then enslaved them and put them in America, I think that has caused a lot of Black Americans, not just Black Americans, but a lot of Black people to be scattered everywhere.
They break
away from their home.
Yes, and they break all the history. That's what I'm thinking, because I want to say that I don't know where my background. And when I start talking to my mom,
you probably have some Black in you.
Yes,
like you definitely probably have some Black in there. And I mean, like that's only definitely. That's why I said probably have some Black in there. And yeah, you just make me, mom can tell you a thing or two.
My mom, she don't want to say, but I was thinking why, because I feel these racism in my own family. Like I say, and my mom, she married with my dad. My dad, he's different things. He's more white. He's more yes, and because they come from Spain and from French family. My grandfather, he's white and blue eyes. But for us, it was really racist in the family. They don't want even also play with their own kids. I have cousins, they don't want to play with them.
Dang.
And I remember my mom, she was telling me one day, oh, I hit one of your aunts. I said, why you hit her? She said, because she said, move that beep 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 beep, yeah, Black girl, this. And my mom, she mad and she's beating her, and she said that's why I want to escape from that, and I want to move, because separate to my dad, because it was really raising child like you, my brother. It was really hard times in there, and then I was like, start back more in my background, and I see my grandfather, my grandmom. They are Black, and that's beautiful Black hair. My grandma, I remember she was. And I was like, oh, Mom, why? I say, you don't have to shave.
Because the colonizers, they are, what's the word I'm looking for? They've been manipulated to hate themselves.
Yes.
They've been manipulated and, to loathe their being, which is the biggest sin I think you can do to a human.
Yeah.
To convince them they should hate themselves, to convince them they should hate their families because of how they look. It's actually quite sad. It's heartbreaking. I don't even want to get into the emotion and tap it into it. Otherwise, I'll be weeping throughout your whole show instead of talking to you. So, I think that hatred is taught. It didn't just come from the air. Like the white man's idea of race is messed up. And then they made it into this ism. Like now they've created this racism, this culture of people wanting to bleach their skins because they want to belong in a community. What community? We are the community. We've got the culture, we've got the music, we've got the beat, we've got the intelligence, we've got the vibrancy, we've got it. We've got it. We have inventors. We have doctors. We have physicians. We've got physicists. We've got everybody.
The music. I remember, like I said, my grandfather. He's painting. He creates.
We're creatives.
And he was musicians. He had the guitar. He's singing. And I was like, oh my God! Now I know why I like all this art and all this thing. I don't know why. I should be sing.
Right. It's interesting though that you tell me this story, my friend. About your like the family and teaching you. I'm not necessarily teaching you because I don't know. I mean, in a sense, they're kind of teaching you that Black is wrong.
Yes,
Negra is wrong.
The color, because you just see like because I'm brown, and I was like, I'm really different on my family. Like I say, I have family, and you can see I see us. I can show you pictures, and you see me so different. But I feel like, okay, Mom, you're doing good, but I was like,
I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah, my mom said, don't worry, because in that village there are two different people. They have the black community, and we had the indigenous people there living.
Right.
So they don't mix also too.
Oh wow.
No. I had a half because like I said, my for my father's side, but my mom they never.
Right.
My family side they never
mix.
No.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, in South Africa we have a lot of tribes, in South Africa, and I can't even keep up. I won't even begin to count. We have a lot of tribes and a lot of people that come from different nationalities and all and whatnot. But also the British colonized us, and then you have the Dutch, you have the Brits, and those people fraternized and raped our women and all those things, right? So you have this lineage and these people that come from that, and like you have the Khoisans as well, the originals. I call them the originals. You have the Khoisans. They're so beautiful. You've got. And then you've got, the indigenous. I mean, the Khoisans, the indigenous, and then you've got the black folks, and then you have the people that are called the colours, which is a mixture of things. Like some of the people were like I said, used. I don't want to use the same word I used. Trigger warning. Excuse me for saying that word without even warning you guys.
They kind of close up. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry about that. But people were put in that situation, in those situations, and the colonizers would sleep with these women out of their will, and they made all these different looking. Fair complexion people, and we call them coloreds, right? And it's another thing that's confusing, or was confusing for me when I moved to America, where I saw people that were, a little bit like yourself, or like Spanish people, truly. And I would think, oh, there's a colored, because in my country, those folks. They look like yourselves, more or less. We call them coloreds, and then black people will call them black, and then the white folks will call them black. So when I would hear black people being called colored, I'm like, you talking to me? I am blackity black. What are you talking about? You must be talking about my sister here, Tere, because it can't be me, So, but I had to learn pretty fast. That's what I'm considered to be colored here.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing that you just learn when you're in a different space. You quickly have to learn how people live and what the culture is there, and how you can mix your own culture into that space, and also without really overstepping, but also learn as much as you can to appreciate where you are. So but Black History Month for me is special in that sense that I know that we are being celebrated, and it's time for me to really feel good about who I am. If 11 months in the year I was feeling terrible about myself, this is the 1 month you gotta give it to me. Give it to me. Don't come and tell me that I'm not who I say I am. I am beautiful, bold, brave, great, and just brilliant.
Yeah.
And I say so because it is for me, and this is my month, and give me that space.
Give me that space.
And in fact, 365 is Black history, okay? That's it.
I know.
Because I feel like Americans have just gone through the most, the Black Americans with their history. And this is not to say anybody else who suffered under any oppression that has happened, is not worthy. Is not worthy of recognition or of mourning or just recognition, really. That's not to dismiss anybody's pain at all. But I'm speaking specifically for this pain for Black folks in America. And to think that people suffered like that for 400 years. And these folks, under those circumstances of being whooped on the back, having to wake up from 3 a.m. till like 9 p.m., working in the fields in cold days, picking cotton, and there's thorns in their hands. Can you imagine? And sometimes they have babies on their backs that they have not even been fed. And they have to go back home barefoot. And they have to go home. They have no time to have real relationships. Like, can you imagine the pipiri, I was going to say the bad word, so I got to stop myself. If you know what pipiri is, I'm just imagine the bad word I'm trying to say. Can you imagine the
I know.
that goes into a person's psyche if they are coming from such an environment? You know, those men that have their privilege to raise children being stripped away from them before their children could even come out of their mother's womb. You know? And then today you hear people go like, yo, these fathers don't want to be there for their kids. You're like, shut up, okay? George, sit back. Thank you.
I don't want to say nothing, but sometimes I hear these white folks talking about this. And I was like, I remember when I was living in Hamden and I see this old man. He was, who is Beyonce? What the hell is Beyonce? She says she's the queen. Why she says the queen? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, come on, just let it go. Just, we're open now. We're free now to stop talking about black community. It's just, come on, open. But I was like, okay, he's veteran, he's old. Just let it go.
Problem is that the system is against, you know, hardworking people, you know, like whether they are black or this is what white folks don't even know at times, like whether you're white, the system is not on your side, okay? Let's just be clear. If you're going to be poor, no matter the complexion you are, you're going to be suffering.
Anyway, someone told me that he make the you know, this at the end,
which one?
When you had to find your
like DNA? Right. Oh, yeah. Yes. DNA testing and stuff.
Testing, yes. So it was this really white guy. He's so proud on that. When he figured out her background and he know way.
He found that he had in Native American blood, not point
Yes.
0.1.
Exactly.
Like now I'm Native American.
So
like,
then,
really?
like,
Are you though?
okay, so remember, you come from
This lineage.
vagina, black
Oh.
vagina.
Is that how we talk in this show? Okay, that's my kind of show. I didn't know this is how we talk on this show.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, I just wish that, personally, I just wish that white, in the white community, they could realize that there's a thing that they have that protects them, which is the whiteness. You know, whiteness is not a human. It's not a thing. It's not an object. But it's also like, it's also this idea it's a word that describes all of that is with privilege, with the system that's designed to protect its own. And even though it was created by people that had money, they wanted to protect themselves and their monies and their wealth and the wealth that they stole from people of the land and all sorts of things. But now, for as long as though you were white, you got to be part of the team, so we'll protect you. We'll write policies and laws that will protect you. And even though today people, they themselves who are white, have not picked up a stone and threw at someone, or slapped at someone just because of the color of their skin, it does not mean that you cannot reckon and learn and understand what your lineage, what your ancestors have done, just because you have not threw hands on someone for the just the pure hatred of their skin. And no one is actually even accusing you of throwing a hand on anybody, but it's just like, we're just letting you know that this is what your ancestors did, because clearly it seems like a lot of people are in denial of that fact, nor do they want to recognize it and name the thing. And once naming it and understanding where their privilege is, where they stand in this society with that very same system that imprisoned 400, not 400, but imprisoned people 400 years ago, and acknowledge that was y'all. I'm like, yo, that was us. That was my greatest grandpa. That was us.
Exactly.
And that is disgusting, quite frankly. It is barbaric.
Yeah, that's barbaric.
It's
That's the word.
barbaric. It's
The way they
incredibly.
treat, the way that the thinking in that mind, the process, they how it show the other kids, it was like that.
And then that's taught to kids. Like you were saying, when we talk about your mom, and that don't talk to these kids or don't play with that kid. Or that kid is this because they are black, so they are dirty.
They don't play. I'll be honest to you. I'm not play with my own
cousins, own family.
They
because
don't
they're
let
black.
me play because
It's
I was
taught to you.
black. I raised by myself. I play by myself because they don't want to play.
That's painful.
It really is.
That hurts me to even think about it. I don't want to think about it too hard because, like I said, it'll be a flood of tears because that's the hatred that's taught, and people act like this is normal. It's not normal.
No.
A person is working hard to make sure that you continue the legacy of hatred towards people that are black and brown. And then you act like you're confused when we're asking you to break that chain. Because that's what we are asking you, for acknowledging your whiteness, for you to acknowledge the privilege, for
Change
you
the history.
You have to acknowledge that you are teaching your children not to play with that one. That's the right, they're teaching racism. And poor kid doesn't know until it fits his feet, his shoes, the whole thing, and realize, I get to have special treatment if I don't like those people. Or I get to have special treatment if I say these things to these people. And you take that and you grow with that. And then you grow. You realize in workplaces, you realize in your communities, you do the same thing. You ostracize people from certain communities and you get rewarded for that. And then you act like you don't know that you're a racist.
Yeah, right.
Excuse me. Sorry, you're racist.
Okay. So that's the story I want to say here. And at least I know in USA, it's changed. But
Right.
I want to say in Mexico, it's hard. It's hard to change the mind because if we are in 21st centuries and it's still the racist thing over there exists.
Wow, that's incredible. I do hear that. I do have a family member through marriage, like who's from Mexico, and I understand that there are challenges, even here in America. But then also it was surprising to learn that even in Mexico, that there's a lot of racism amongst Mexicans, amongst each other, amongst the Latino community, and people don't talk about that a lot. It's always like the black, only like the black or the white, but it's like there are others. There's an Asian community that is racist as well. That's it. That's the fact. It's not made up an accusation. No. It's a fact. That there's Asian people that still look at black people and think, "Oh, can I touch your hair? Are you real?
Yes,
is it a thing? Like how do literally today? Actually, I walked into a spa. I went to the gym, and I went into this little corner, whatever, this spa. And I go in, an Asian woman sees me. She starts laughing at me. I don't even know her. She just laughed at me.
Wow.
She caught me tired. Good for her. Because if she caught me awake, she would have had to answer what that was about. Because she just laughed. And I did not make a joke. I like jokes. I make them all the time. But I didn't. And I don't know her. Never met her. I just walked in. Looked at me up and down and laughed.
Wow, this is nothing. I'm gonna say this story when I had this huge tumor in my back. It was in summer. And I was trying to get to take some coffee to the coffee shop. And I was in the line and I had these shorts. My t-shirt was short. And then I was this one Asian guy. He was laughing and he was doing this like, like laughing like chicken wing, like a wing. I watching him and the lady, her girlfriend, it was like stop.
Right.
Because she's watching you.
Right.
I watching him and I was like, I tried to take him and explain like this is real. You want something like this?
Right.
I hope that you don't have this
it's
tumor
painful
in your
for
back.
you because he's laughing at your pain.
Exactly. Because they saw you, they think we are different. They think you are color, and you have whatever something. It's like they had to laugh at you.
Right. That's not okay.
No,
that's not okay. You are a
that's
human
racist.
being.
Exactly. That's the way the mind thinking. Because in her family, they think that's the way, and this nice. It's okay. You can laugh. It's okay.
No,
you can laugh.
People are laughable. These are monkeys. These are nothing. They're nobodies.
Exactly.
They can take pain, any pain inflicted on them. What a terrible mindset.
But we are the same because we are suffer. We are sick. One thing I learned in this cancer is not a stop for nobody. and as soon someone had cancer, they don't care if you're white, you're black, you're Mexican, you're Asian. Don't give a shit.
No.
So please, people, I just want to think it in your mind. If you're healthy, say play and say thank you to God.
That's right. Because life is precious. Life is really precious.
And we're the same. We're humans.
We're humans, you know.
We have the same color, the blood.
Exactly. We bleed the same way, you know, and we need to learn that as a community. We have to understand we need each other and we need to respect one another. You know, in my country, there's a say that goes umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu, meaning like a person is human because of others. That's how I choose to interpret it. Otherwise, others say, you know, we are human and because of others. However, it's the same meaning, the same thing, really. But basically, like we are nothing without each other, you know. And I like to remind myself of that when I talk to people, and especially when I talk of race issues. Before even I get into it, I remind myself to ground myself on that notion that we are people because of others, so that I can ground myself into a space of respect and love first. But don't think just because I'm coming straight with love first, you're disrespectful and crude and racism and terrible attitudes are not gonna take away from that. You're gonna take away from that because I'm gonna start with love. But as soon as you show me who you are and you make sure that you are throwing things at me that are targeted at my being and my humanness and my humanity, love won't be there anymore, you know, real quick, you know, because I'm not going to stand around to be put in a place where I have to endure pain and endure suffering and endure abuse from other people. Because my generation, a generation before me has done that, and a generation before me has done that already. I'm going to exist in this world knowing that I did not play a part in accepting any sort of abuse from anybody, you know, and especially racism. And as a Black woman, knowing that we get abused even in our own communities at times too, and that's just a topic on its own that needs attention, but we get abused in so many ways in different spaces. But for me as a woman, I have to make sure that I am here for myself. I'm showing up for myself. I'm advocating for myself because the history has showed me that nobody else does it for me. So if anybody's going to be in my way and tries to tell me otherwise, we're going to have a problem because I know I have me and me to look after. So like hatred is really taught from a young age, and it's time to break that. It's just time to break that.
Show the kids.
We can't do that anymore. Like like I said before, there's racism in the Asian communities and in the Latino communities, but I don't hear a lot of talk in these communities about racism, except for the times that I've heard when crazy Trump had been, you know.
Now they feel it, but also,
now
I see some Mexicans, they believe Donald Trump,
and because it's those Mexicans that believe that Black people shouldn't be.
Yeah, they think exactly. That's what I'm saying, because they think, oh, we are white, we have blue eyes, so we have.
Oh, I'm from Spain. I'm not like the same with these guys from Mexico.
Exactly, and that's why they happen to these Latinos. They're not Latinos. I don't know, but. The thing is, I'm saying about the problem too we have here in New Haven about the domestic violence too. That if you're white, they had this privilege already. Someone called to the police, they show up on maybe 15 minutes,
just like that.
Is if black or brown they call. They come in 1 hour. That happened to me. I call the police, and the police show up like 40 minutes. And I was like, this guy, he gonna kill me. And when you show up, maybe I probably on the river.
Wow. That's true. That's true. A lot of young women that are missing right now in our communities
is because
that no one is budging for. But one white little blonde girl goes missing.
Like
maybe
these girls from the Instagram or I don't know, TikTok.
Right.
She's disappeared, and finally
she disappeared.
Everybody looking for her. Where is she? Okay, but how many browns women they're disappear,
and no one makes
do all this
exactly
theater and the TV
and on TV, and all the news pick the story up just like that, and everybody's looking for this young girl, and you know it's just terrible. It's just terrible. I was listening to Malcolm Gladwell today too on the Sandra Bland story. Her birthday is coming up in April actually. But I was just thinking to myself, like, how cruel can a person be? Like, it's this, those guys, they don't even know that they're doing something wrong because they are blinded by the fact that all they are doing is their job and that they are following protocol and that they are following the system. That's why a lot of them are in denial of their hatred towards people, because they are looking in the book, and the book that they follow tells them that this is what you are supposed to do and respond to people. Forget about humanity. Forget about using your own judgments as a human, because even if there's a workbook, you know, you sometimes go off that workbook because you can see this person needs a human interaction, does not need a book interaction, does not need a policy interaction, does not need a system interaction. They need you to listen to them, and they need you to empathize and see that they are in need, or they are trying to tell you something so that you can communicate with these people from a human to human perspective rather than from a book to I think, because at that point, then it's not even a human that they are talking to, because that's what I feel when they look at brown and black people, that they're not seeing humans when they they're in contact with us, whether it's a traffic stop or whether they are frisking you on the streets or whether they are taking your case. It's like, oh, that's
what I see when the police came in. One of them is like here I see here I like this,
right,
like, oh, she's Latino, like, this
yeah,
too much drama,
right,
like
on the face you can just tell the demeanor changes.
And I don't want to forget about the other guy. It was like three police, and the first one, I see the face, the white one, like, right. But I see the black one. He come to me and he said, he's hurt.
Wow.
Are you fine?
Right.
He was behind me and I was crying because he tried to see me. I'm okay.
Right.
And then I see the other it was different. So then they came the Spanish one and said, you can talk to me in Spanish, because I was so nervous.
Right.
And they say, just run away. He told me, take you whatever you have, your things, and go. And I don't have money. I remember.
Is that one with you in that abusive relationship, right? Okay, because I'm just trying to give context for our listeners too. Oh,
so
wow.
I see the two different police
reaction.
But the other one, the white one,
couldn't care less.
He he feels
like you deserve to be in this situation. You know what I mean? Like,
I see that.
No woman deserves to be in that kind of situation, no matter what their situation is. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that happens again with poor people. Like, I grew up in an environment that's poor, you know? And someone like myself who, if I was still in that space and observe like my interaction with what I know now, because before those kind of interactions with policemen and how people talk to you when you come from that space, it becomes normal. Like, you have a lot of black people, a lot of brown people that are accepting that inferiority, that they are below the certain people, that it's normal. They will never see themselves speaking up to a white man, speaking up to a white woman. Oh my God, not the white woman. Do not make her cry. Do not make her upset. You gotta be positive all the time. Yes. Even if you're suffering, be positive. Like, come on. Be human first. Don't tell me about positivity. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm living in negativity. How else am I gonna be positive in a space like this? I want to be positive. Feed me first. Let me just get my food first going.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like, because when you're hungry, when you're living in a poor environment, you behave poorly. That's just a fact. It's not an argument. It's not an accusation. It's just a fact. Haven't you seen yourself how you behave, even when you have everything and you haven't eaten? How poorly you behave towards other people, towards yourself. You just want to get home and eat, or you want to get home and do something. Imagine somebody who that's his day in and day out. Doesn't know what bread is going to be like the next day. Doesn't know that if their children are even going to eat, now they have to succumb into situations where they let themselves go and allow to be abused by men because they just want that $20 so that they can give their kids bread. And then we demonize sex workers, we demonize all these people that are just trying to make a living so that they can have a good day or a good night, whatever the case is. Like, who do we think we are? Like, where is humanity first? And then let's solve poverty together on top of that, so that we don't act poor as well. And I don't understand, and it's not just poverty that makes people act weird. Act poorly. The riches are making the rich folks act poorly. They are poor as hell themselves.
Yeah, the poison. Because
even in their power, they are poor. They have all this money and they're treating humans
They
and
treat
human lives
humans
so poorly. They look at people so poorly and
that's
approach.
why they're rich. You see that,
And they make money through that too.
That's
people's
why
misery.
they make money from all sales and still that too. But we don't see it. But
Right.
it's still there.
Right. So like, I mean, you know, it's Black History Month, man. Okay, like we are great. We are fabulous. We are brilliant, and we are bold.
Support the business.
Yes.
Black community business. Please.
Yes, support Black businesses, and that does not
This
mean
is
ask
the
for a
month.
discount.
Yes, no discount, please.
No discounts this month. Maybe we can talk about it in June. Discounts, but not now until June. Okay, no discounts. Support Black businesses and
listen to Thabisa. Support Thabisa.
Yes, absolutely, definitely. That point, that's the most important one out of this whole conversation.
So we want to know where we can find you and where we can support you.
All right, I will tell you that now. So Black History Month is a wonderful thing, and I'm happy to be here as an immigrant as well, and because I'm learning a lot from the sisters out there and the brothers out there. I'm learning a lot of things that I haven't been able to learn in my own country because of people are still, you know, in the fumes of apartheid, but everybody wants to rush to we're together as one. Meanwhile, reparations are not met yet, and people white folks in South Africa, some of them don't even know that you know, this was bigger than what we made it because of the Truth and Reconciliation. That means nothing to us.
Yeah,
it's just that meant nothing. We are still psychologically messed up, and we are still as broke as we could be. And anyway, if you want to support Thabisa, catch me at thabisamusic.com. Oh wait, that's my Instagram. Thabisa Music. That's where you're gonna find me on my music. It's THABISA music, one word. Or you can go to Thabisa_art for my art. Or you can go to thabisamusic.com and subscribe. I would advise you to do that. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for listening us. You can start listening on Spotify, iTunes, and blah 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 blah. Okay, thank you
for having me.
Bye. It is.